This is a continuation of the story about the time when my son was kidnapped. This is part 3 of the story. If you missed the other parts, please go back and listen to them. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you guys would like, follow, and share. And comment. If you have a comment, please share it with me. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Anyway, again, my son was kidnapped. And like I said, there was a part 1, a part 2. But the search that stole my sleep. I was 22 years old, um, afraid, confused, um, desperate, and basically my life was being torn apart because I was looking all over for my son. At the time, I was a single parent taking care of my son. I was working a full-time job. I was working at Mount Sinai Medical Center in Manhattan, actually as a security guard, and I was also working a second full-time job for Consolidated Edison, also in Manhattan. And for them, I was a meter reader, meter tester, and testing technician for the steam division of Consolidated Edison. And I got to admit, I learned a lot there. But anyway, basically, I was doing everything that I could do to create stability for me and my son. Because again, I'm trying to raise him by myself and trying to do the right things. He was literally just a baby. So, with everything that was going on, one, I couldn't get answers. And then my trail to find the person that actually snatched my son, it just kind of went cold. Everybody that I talked to, everybody that I presented myself to and asked them questions, they just didn't have any answers for me or wouldn't give me any answers. And mind you, I wasn't abusive or any crazy stuff. I thought that I had done everything that I was supposed to do as a man and as a father. But anyway, so I came to the decision that I needed to make the hard choices. I needed to make a decision on what I wanted to do because I was not destined, I was determined to find my son. So even though it was a really pretty good job and I lost out by losing it, I ended up quitting my job working for Con Edison. And what I did was every night when I would get off of work, um, at Mount Sinai, I would literally hit the streets of New York. I would search for my son. So I'd be searching through New York City pretty much every night for months. I'd had the arrest warrants that I had gotten issued in hand, and I again had a strong suspicion as to who had taken my son. But like I said, I had no solid leads. So I searched and I searched for months, night after night, alone by myself, because there was nobody to really help me. My father was around, but he had his issues. My mother had already moved to North Carolina to help take care of her own parents, and that was before I ended up coming back from the military after I got out, after my initial tour. So I guess my question in this particular part is, if it was you, what would you have done? How far would you go to get your child back? And I'd really appreciate it if I got some input from you, because again, it's something that bothers me, and I'm very near and dear to all my children now. But back then, that was my first child. That was my son. And I was going to do anything and everything to find him. But anyway, I'd really appreciate it if you guys would share with me what you would have done if you had been in my situation. Again, not knowing exactly who has him, not knowing where he is, not knowing what his state is or what his health is or what the state of the people that have him are, and then going to the people who you think can give you answers and them refusing to give you anything. Everybody's, I don't know, I can't answer you, I haven't seen this person, all of this craziness. But anyway, I'd really appreciate some input with that. I'll come back tomorrow with part 4 of this. And again, please leave your comments. Take care. Be well.